What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today has come to get this engine bay ready for paint. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start filling in some holes. There is holes all over this bay and a lot of them I'm not using. So I kind of went around and marked some of them that I'm going to fill. All these ones here, and then a lot of these over here I'm not using. Some of these up here are for the fuse boxes and all that, so they got to stay. So I'm gonna get the welder out and patch some of them holes up, grind them smooth, and make this thing look a little cleaner. Alright guys, we got a lot of these holes filled in that I wanted to. A couple up on the front there and on the sides. There still might be a couple more I gotta fill. I just gotta figure out exactly what mounted, and I might remount a couple things, so I'm gonna leave that for now. Well, the next thing we gotta do is pull this core support off, because I've been on the fence about doing the front end swap. The Forerunner, I think it's 92 to 95, and you can do it without swapping the core support, but you got to drill all new holes and mount those headlights. And I thought it'd be easier, since this thing is literally stripped. All I got to do is punch out a few spot welds and swap that whole front core support. Be a lot easier to do it right now, so that's what I'm gonna do. And it's actually really not that bad. There's only a couple spot welds up here, and then there's a few that run around here and then down, and then just the two main bolts, and that whole core support comes off. It's pretty easy. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna swap that core support out, and these are the headlights. I have one, I still got to find the other one, but just a more modern look, and I might do something cool with these headlights. We will see about that, but for now we just got to get that swapped out. So let's get the spot weld cutter out and start cutting these things out. So this is what I'm going to be using, guys. A little spot weld cutter, and actually double-sided, so you can take that and flip it around when one side gets doled out. So you just drill a pilot hole. So what you want to do is you'll find your spot weld, and it looks just like a little circle, kind of a little divot, and you'll find the center of it. You'll punch it out. You'll drill your pilot hole so that this center of the cutter can go into it, and then you just cut the spot weld out. Pretty simple. So let's get to work. Cut this whole core support out and get that one swapped out. All right, we got these two top ones done. So you can see that first one I did, I went all the way through. You're not supposed to do that. What you want to do is cut just the first layer. So it's kind of a learning curve, I guess. I went too deep on that one. So just be careful, and it might help to maybe take a little screwdriver and pry on it so that you know when you actually bust through that first layer and it comes loose like that. So either way, it doesn't matter. We'll weld it all up, but the best way to do it is just to bust through the first layer so that it comes loose. All right, guys, we got that whole core support off. So now be a good time to bring this thing outside, get it all scrubbed up, get all this crap off it, and then we can start getting ready to mounting that one up. But actually, when I took this thing off, the bushings are shot. This bushing is ripped, and then this one here is rusted onto the bolt. So I ordered up a whole new poly bushing kit for the entire cab. Might as well just replace them all, and I'm sure the other ones aren't in great shape either, so we're gonna do that. But for now, we'll get this thing outside, get it pressure washed, cleaned up, and then we'll get that tacked on and see what we're looking like. Alright guys, there we go. Got the core support fully welded in. Everything looks like it lines up pretty good, so I guess we'll see once we put the front end on. So next thing I got to do is just go through this engine bay, scuff everything, make sure it's very clean. I didn't really clean this core support yet, so I got to go through that, clean this up. And then the plan is I might put just a little bit of body filler on some of these that have pinholes and crap, because it's kind of hard to clean inside of some of those holes, and didn't get the cleanest welds. So might do a little bit of body filler just to make sure those are looking flat and good. And then I'm going to epoxy prime the entire bay, and then we can get to painting it. Alright guys, before I forget and paint this thing, I got to cut holes for my intercooler pipe. They go right, I'm going to cut some holes right through here like I did on the other one, and then get all the holes for the brackets mounted up, just so I don't forget and paint it and then have to cut it up after it's painted. So I'm going to get some holes cut in there. All right, we got that cut out. Everything fits pretty close. But I'm gonna have to redo this lower bracket because on this core support, this cross brace here actually drops down, whereas the other one was straight. So it's got a big gap. So that's gonna be another day's project. I just wanna get this hole drilled and cut out so I could actually get this thing painted. All right, so I'm gonna get started on this bay. So I already got to jump on grinding some rust and the really bad spots out. So I got to go through this area again. And what I'm using is just a little Scotch-Brite wheel on a grinder. So I'm gonna go hit all this bad areas where it's like already down to bare. Get that cleaned up like that. Then I'll go around, scuff the entire bay with some, probably just a red Scotch-Brite pad. Make sure it's all clean. I'll wipe it down with some Max and Grease Remover, and then we can get to, I think I'm gonna put just a little bit of filler on these and then spot prime. You wanna put a surfacer over your filler, so I'm gonna just touch up these little areas with the surfacer, and then we can sand that, epoxy the whole bay. All right guys, we got a few coats of that primer surfacer on all the areas that we put the body filler. So the point of that is the surfacer doesn't soak into the body filler. If I were to epoxy this whole bay right now, you would see all the little outlines of all the areas where I had the body filler because the solvents will soak into the body filler. So that's the reason we did the surfacer. So now we gotta let that dry out, and then we'll sand these little areas, and then we can go through and spray epoxy on the entire bay and then get some paint on it. So that's it for this video, guys. As far as the motor goes, I'm still waiting for my rods and that torque plate. So once we get that in, we can bring all this stuff to the machine shop and have that all machined. But for now, we'll just keep plugging away on this engine bay, get this thing looking good. So check back on the next video if you guys want to see the final product. I got some cool plans for it. So like I said, we're going to epoxy primer the whole bay, and then we're going to paint it. So Really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.